I own your soul.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my review for The Woman in Black, a new horror film from the director of Eden Lake, which is one of my favorite underrated horror gems. I really love that film, so when I heard he was directing this, I heard Daniel Radcliffe was going to be in it, I was really excited. I really wanted to see it. I love horror films. I love ghost stories that are horror films, of course. I love horror, so I wanted to see it. I heard good things about it before I went into the theater, and did I feel good leaving the theater? Did I feel like I was satisfied? Well, that's why I'm doing a review. I'll tell you if I was. So anyway, let's get into it with the story of the Woman in Black. I was about to say The Devil Inside. What the hell's wrong with me? What's with me in that movie nowadays? Can't get away from it. With that being said, let's actually talk about this movie now. Not The Devil Inside. Screw that movie. Let's talk about the plot of The Woman in Black. The story for this movie starts off with, of course, Daniel Radcliffe, who, of course, is Harry Potter. Not in this film, but he is in the Harry Potter movies. If you didn't know. I mean, who would? They're very underrated movies. No one watches them. Very underground. But anyway, of course, Harry Potter, or Daniel Radcliffe, or Arthur Kemp, as he's called in this film, is a young lawyer who is very, very, very saddened because sadly, his very young wife passed away 4 years ago while giving birth to his son, who is obviously now 4 years old. And he's still saddened about it, really upset, and he doesn't really do much work, no lawyerish stuff, but of course he has to do some work, and he gets a job to go and do some paperwork for this old-ass house for this woman that sadly passed away, or maybe not sadly, you'll figure out later. And he has to go into this really old, scary-looking house and do some paperwork. And of course, while he's there, some weird things happen. And when these weird things happen, every time when he leaves the house the next day, some kid in this village that he goes to magically dies in a tragic accident. I'm going to do this. So, of course, that's a little weird. I'm just going to leave the story off there. And let's say this. I was looking forward to this because I really wanted it to be scary. It was scary. Let's just say that, okay? The story is very ghost, it's ghost story, cookie cutter stuff. We've seen this stuff, a ghost is out for revenge. It's going to go after people that had nothing to do with what happened to her. But she's going to do it anyway because they're around, and she's going to do it because she's evil. She's angry. So we've seen this stuff before, but it actually is a really good atmosphere. I mean, the house is very creepy. There's some things that actually get at you, and I mean, jump out at you, of course. Very jumpish scares, which are really, really well done. Usually I don't really care about jump scares, but when they do a jump scare where it's like, oh, and it's in your face, but it actually sticks with you, those are the kind of jump scares I really like. And they do a lot of those in this film. Also, the character of Arthur Kemp, Daniel Radcliffe, hats off to you, man. You did a great job in this film. I really cared for his character. He did a fantastic job in this movie. One thing I didn't like is that he didn't really react to many things that were going around in this house. If this weird stuff was actually happening to me, I'd freaking freak out, and there'd be diarrhea everywhere. Let's just say poop everywhere because I'd be shitting my pants. I mean, some of the stuff is scary, and if it was real, oh god. But of course, there's a lot of special effects, so he didn't really do a great job with reacting to some of the special effects. But with the dialogue and the script, he did a fantastic job. You really do care for his character. Also, his friend, who's played by Ciarán Hinds in this film, he does a great job. He's really likable. Ciarán Hinds is one of those actors, he's an older actor. That means he's not going to be around for much longer because, of course, he's probably going to die of something. He's not that old. he's like 50. Every 50-year-old dies now. Screw them. They're too old. Get rid of them. No, I'm just kidding. But he's of course not going to be around that much because he's not going to be a leading man. Look at him. He's like overweight. His face looks weird. But hey, I like the guy. He's really good in this film. He's very likable. There's other people here and there like Janet McTeer, who plays Ciarán Hinds' character's wife, who does a good job here. Also, what else was I going to say? The atmosphere we talked about. The dialogue is actually pretty damn good. The story is, it's ghost story 101, but I like it. And overall, the movie did provide a few really good scares. Most of them were jump scares. Some of them were like very discreet scares that actually really got to me. But for the most part, there were a lot of jump scares. So if you don't like jump scares, you're not going to like this film. You might like it for the characters, maybe for the plot, but you're not going to like it for the actual horror elements. But for me, I really enjoyed this film. I'm going to give it a 32 out of 40. I think it is a very, very competently made horror film. Not as good as Eden Lake, but still very good. And it's not even as good as Insidious, but still very good. Definitely check it out if you're looking for a horror movie that will wash down the bad taste of The Devil Inside. So, anyway, thank you for watching. Definitely go check it out. Very good movie. So anyway, there you go. Thank you and goodbye.